All I have to say is, drizzle, drizzle.
Cursed be the ground, for our sake. Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for us. For out of the ground we were taken, for the dust we are. And to the dust we shall return.
You can't win, you can't break even, and you can't get out of the game. People keep saying things are gonna change, but they look like to stay the same. You're getting way over your head, and you only got yourself yourself to blame. You can't win, child. Can't break even. Can't get out of the game. Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
All right, you Dusty Jermaines, this is what you guys requested, from yesterday. I had a chance to look it over, and at first I didn't know exactly what you guys wanted, but then I found out it was actually Donald Trump versus the gynocracy. That's what you really wanted to see. So this is what I'm going to comment on. I'm sure you've been around the horn and you've seen all kinds of comments and basically ad libs and whatnot. The thing is, okay, I'm just going to throw my 2 shekels onto the pile and tell you what I see, from my perspective, agree or disagree. And for people out there, I am a political agnostic. I don't care about the personalities in office. I don't care about parties in office. I am policy only. Okay. Just like I don't care about the Labor Party versus the Tory Party versus the whatever party in the UK. I care about the policies that come out of it that affect me. So I do the same thing with the United States. So I'm a political agnostic. So Trump 2024 doesn't mean anything to me except he's going to maybe give me a better policy environment than the Bidens did. When Trump was in office and stuff like that, and I thought Biden may or may not, which, I didn't particularly trust Biden, but I think he might have given me a better political environment, economic environment than Trump did. That did not turn out to be the case. Now, I've been saying that for a couple of years. But, and as always, this is a warning, right, for you sensitive people, especially YouTube.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
So Lazarus is number 1. I said Adric is slipping. Adric must be working. Adric has to be making some money, man. Well, Priest, what's going on? I'm listening. Adric is all the way down to number 3. Uh-oh. Okay. It's going to be contentious then. Princess, what's going on? AL, what's happening? In Dust We Trust, what's happening? Rain Lab, what's going on? Inspired Truth. The Democrats aren't even bothering to pretend anymore that we black men have any power in their group, as evidenced by the total absence of any black men on this panel. Well, the Democrats didn't have anything to do with the National Association of Black Journalists, right? Fortunately, we have ceded a lot of power to the academics who become journalists, okay? And that is the problem. Black men don't have any power in these avenues is because they don't go to school for it anymore. It's like 80 or 90% women. And men go to trades, men go to STEM, whatever they do, and they go in different avenues. So the social sciences are like 80% women. Okay, probably 90% women. So that's how I can have. And this is not just on the black side; it's also on the white side too. And the winner is Donald Trump. F to democracy. I think it's going to happen. That's going to happen for a host of reasons. John Smith, what's going on? Let's see what we got. It's got very little John Smith going back and forth. AL, I already said what's going on, boss. Henderson Bancroft, what's happening? Raven Knight, Titan Blooded. Eddie, what's happening? Eddie's doing donuts in the parking lot. Saint Seer, Babu. Free agent Triple OG, what's happening? Trail, what's happening? I Dodge the Trap, what's happening? Gundam, what's going on? Mr. Donnie Mac, it's going to be a while for the dust to settle, man. It's going to take 3 or 4 months. Man here, what's going on? Say Trump doesn't give a damn about the gynocracy. Now, he does, but he grabs the gynocracy by the pussy. Hurricane Greg, what's going on? Brooklyn's Finest, what's going on? Black Males, what's going on? Trump never cared about anybody himself. Probably, you're probably correct, but he cares about his legacy. KT Machine, what's going on? Supreme Pivot, what's going on? We are in here. So you think Biden cares about other people? Valeri, what's happening? Micah L, Corey, and as always, hit my like button if you're in here. Black Males, going on. DJ Scan, Louis, what's happening? I was on Louis last night. We're talking about this. So, like I said, I'm gonna throw my shekels, my additional shekels onto the pot. Michael Johnson, what's going on? Young Jay, Marchand, what's going on? Michael Johnson, A Split Jim, what's going on? Chief Rocker with the $20 super sticker, appreciate you. The Black Toxic Masculinist, what's going on? So Eddie said he's playing golf right now. Is he? Is he playing? No, and he's dancing. All right. He's dancing to the music. Tall Lee, what's happening? Oh yeah. If you're not on the Patreon, the more out of the box thinking, the more out of the box stuff comes on Patreon. I don't say it here not because I don't want to share it with you, it's because YouTube, it gives me a whole lot of problems. Trump need to stick to I will tell you he did stick to policy. Okay. But things you got to feel the questions that are asked. Gripped Wolf, what's happening? Fire Nation, what's going on? Yeah, she was rude. They will get to that. Logic and Reason, what's going on? Jamar, Osiris, Lavrus, what's going on? There's the Woo Man, that Negro over there. JJ, what's happening? Because they're used to dealing with black men, that's why. Simeon, then we take it. And so some of that's our fault because we take that shit. Simeon, what's going on? Savant 88, where the truth be told. Encrypted Wolf. That intro is extra funky at 1.25. Okay. Ellis, what's happening? Seek Truth. Johnny Anderson, what's going on? Bureau, what's happening? Calvin. Dusty Jones, what's going on? Let's see, we got Chief Rocker, the Bureau. Mrs. KP Bailey, what's happening? That's Ed, what's going on? Trump have always been a JFK Democrat. Not really. Okay. Getting to have a check it in and sharing the channel. We know BGS does trigger people. Cameron, what's going on? Paul, what's happening? Swift Battle, what's happening? Travis, what's going on, man? One of my day ones. Forever blessed. Aquatechy, what you working on, Aquatechy? Did you finish all your CrowdStrike work? There's Toya. Where my apple at, girl? Brother Hannibal, what's happening? Scott Gray, Black Toxic Masculines with the $2 super chat. Appreciate you. The $2 holler. They ambushed him and tried to treat him like a black male, and it did not work well. Scott Gray, what's happening? Rush, what's happening? Precisely. Made the live. Okay. Will AR, what's going on? I said, Cyrus Burke said, you're what? A political agnostic. Okay. You're a Republican, BGS. This is the side you pick. You have no idea what I am. Okay. You have no idea what I am. I have told you what I am. I have not picked I picked a side of policy. What do you pick? Okay. You pick party. Do you pick party over policy? That's what I'm asking you. What do you pick? You pick party over policy. And I'm not even picking him. Okay. The thing is, he's the lesser of two evils. In fact, if you go back to fix this, I picked neither one of them. Okay. Neither one of them should have been running. T-Rex, what's happening? The Times said there was a greater job growth under Biden than Trump. What do you say? They're talking about the surge after COVID, because COVID actually for like a year and a half depressed um, jobs. You had to put people back to work, so there's going to be a surge. But I haven't looked at completely at all the numbers, but I don't think that's true. Now, if you're talking about growth as a percentage of growth from where you start, that would be true because you're coming from a flat environment. Guys, that's because their girl can't offer you tangibles or reparations. Okay, AM, what's going on? Said, dude, you dummy sound a Republican and a socialist. I don't know what he is. Okay, and he don't want a piece of me. Okay, JC the Conqueror, sincere. I joined the NABJ as an undergrad. I attended a few conferences while I worked as a journalist for about 8 years and never went back. Nothing but women there and not a lot of work being done. It's networking, okay? That's what they do. Venom K, it is an important time. I want to encourage you because Dr. J has an Onyx test for media, Onyx media test to evaluate um, misandrous or misandrous movies, okay, or how misandrous the movie is, or whether it's not misandrous. I'm trying to encourage him to come up with a Onyx political test, right? So we can evaluate politicians, whether they're white or black, and how they fare or score in addressing the needs of black men and boys. So put that bug in his ear. I'm trying to put that bug in his ear. Let me finish welcoming some people before I go. LXT, Raven Knight. Oh, it's an inside joke on this channel. Okay. All right. That's the PhD. What's going on? Joe's, Art, Cloud. What's going on, man? Would you have $5 million in cash or 5 minutes cash? Give me cash. Okay. Cash is always king. If you got $5 million in cash, you can get $5 million in credit. Okay. So in other words, you got $5 million in cash, and they know you have $5 million in cash sitting in the bank. You can get credit, another $5 million in credit, and use your cash as what, a guarantee, right? It is a guarantee. So if you got $5 million in cash, you can get another $5 million credit. So that will equal 10 million. Shannon Moore, what's happening? Noir Truth. The Psychonomist, what's going on? AM with the super sticker. Appreciate you. Tampa Supreme. I think we got just about everybody. Landon, what's going on? It is what it is. The thing is just being revealed. I think they think they've been sipping their own tea. And let's just say I knew when to head back to my hotel room alone. Okay, you wasn't with the sister girls. All right. I think I got everybody. Encrypted Wolf, Wolf Among Sheep, Michael Johnson, Joe Ethereal, the Not American Expat, NPRG, AB Media, Free Thinking Loan, DJ B-Side, Raven Knight. I think we have everybody. King Destiny, and Cyrus says, I can't blame anyone for my joke. Okay. This is Oppo. Oh, from Patreon. Okay, you're Oppo. Okay. By the way, I was playing off the running joke of people wanting you to pick political side instead of accepting that you're agnostic. But alas, I'll take my. Oh, okay. If I knew you're Oppo, I didn't know that you were joking. I didn't know you were Oppo. Okay. If I know Oppo, I would have laughed. Cost unlimited overtime. Y'all ain't shit. Ron Brown. Archer, what you doing in here, Archer? See, I known you were Oprah, I wouldn't have taken it seriously. I'd have known that you were kidding. Sphinx man, when y'all change names, man, I don't know who you are. You got to remember, I'm not looking in your face. Terrell, what's going on? All right, that's it. Let me go ahead and start this so we can comment because it is like 30 some odd minutes long. Actually, it's an hour long, but they got in late. Okay. And then when he got going in on them, they kicked him out early. So I'm going to share this. This one is from PBS. I suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay. This one is from PBS. Bring it down a little bit. And we're going to start it from the beginning because look at this. You can see how late they were, right? Okay. Now PBS was already there. So they're an hour late. They're not 35 minutes. They're an hour late. Okay. PBS was already setting up and they're an hour late. And this is what is it? Black People's Time, CPT, Colored People's Time. So the gynocracy is already on CPT time, which is something he was complaining about. Well, let's go ahead and get started. As always, give me a one if you can hear it.
The same professionalism that is maintained in this arena. Please welcome to the stage ABC News senior congressional correspondent Rachel Scott. Semaphore political reporter Kadia Goba.
I don't know any of these people.
And anchor of the Faulkner Focus and co-host of Outnumbered on Fox News, Harris Faulkner.
Oh, she's on Fox News. Okay. All right. That's the one on Fox News. They said there was one on Fox News whose mic was messing up. Okay. Never Mill says, thanks for the tips on Polly Murray documentary and the Fault Line show. Watch every morning now. They're a good alternative show. That's how come I always try to bring in Rachel makes us all look bad. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's get started.
NABJ. Mic's on? Hear me? Here we go. Test, test, test. Good afternoon, NABJ, and welcome to a conversation with former President Donald Trump. This discussion continues a decades-long tradition during election years of inviting journalists to discuss the policies and their impact with the candidates who are running for president, and the impact of those policies, especially in Black communities. Former Presidents George W. Bush, Barack Obama, and Bill Clinton have attended the NABJ conventions either as presidents or as presidential candidates in past years. NABJ is currently in conversation with Vice President Kamala Harris's team to schedule a Q&A either in person or virtually in September. As journalists, we use opportunities like these both to inform our reporting, but also to help voters understand the choices that they.
And for anybody that keeps saying that Kamala Harris is not Black, Kamala is deeply enshrined and encased and ensconced in the sisterhood, okay? She about as Black as any other mulatto Black woman, okay? This mixed shit, okay? She identifies as Black. She lives her life as being Black. She went to Black school, to a Black college. She damn near married 2 Black men, okay? And if you listen to her talk, you can tell she's a typical AKA sister. Okay. And all these sisters out here, up here, they're AKAs and sorority girls are riding for. Okay. So that's their sister. That's how come they're riding for. So don't get it twisted. Okay. She Black.
Face in a consequential and historic election year. NABJ has partnered with PolitiFact to fact check this conversation in real time. You can access that feed on social media using the hashtag NABJFact.
Basically, go to Houston, man. Go look at them 19 Houston judges who are locking up Black men left and right. Okay. Go to Houston, man. Go look up there. Look at a Black woman's record as far as Black men are concerned, man. They lock up more Black men than white men do. Okay. Remember that district attorney where the white judge wanted to give the boy a chance and she was damn near cussing out the judge? Those are your sisters, okay? Don't is she FBA? No, she's not, but doesn't matter. Okay. Black is a term. FBA is Foundational Black American. The thing is, Black is a general term, okay, for Black people. and black culture. Because you believe Africans are black, don't you? Don't you believe Africans are black? Don't you believe Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans and Dominicans that look like you're black? FBA women do block up black men. This is not nothing new. Yeah, well then stop with that shit.
Check. Again, the hashtag is NABJ fact check. We have a lot to get to, and we do not want to waste any time. So let's bring out the former president of the United States, the Republican nominee for president, former president.
Yeah, she might be a tether, but she acts just like you. So it doesn't matter whether she's a tether. Don't matter if she's Rachel Dolezal. She act like a black woman. She operates like a black woman, and basically she does the same shit that a black woman does. Go look at Ketanji Brown. Okay, what's the difference between Kamala Harris and Ketanji Brown? Show me the difference. Show me the difference. Show it to me. She's raised here, okay? She raised here. She raised in Oakland, okay? We're the only black bullshit. Stop with that shit, okay? All right, this ain't about race, okay? Now, if you want to talk about race, we won't even go over this. We'll talk about race. What do y'all want to do? What do y'all want to do? You want to watch this? You want to concentrate on policies and what they was said, or you gonna want to talk about race? Which one you want? Put a 1 in if you want to watch, want to go through this Donald Trump stuff. Or put a 2 in if you guys want to talk about race. I want to see. No. Put a 1 in if you want to talk about what's on the screen. And put a 2 in if you want to talk about race, because we're not going to do both. You want to talk about race? Put a 2 in. Ain't no neutral. 1 or 2, Ivar. Yeah, a bunch of them. Yeah, so a bunch of them have, including the ones in office that you elected. Okay. All right. So no more of this race talk. Okay. Who cares what race she is? Okay. The sisterhood has accepted her, as you will see. Well, then I don't care if this showed up on your feed. A lot of stuff shows up. Okay, a lot of stuff shows up on my feed. Okay. I'm glad that YouTube actually spread this. A lot of stuff shows up on my feed. Guess what I don't do? I don't click on it. And if what we're talking about is not what you want to hear, then you can click off. I won't be offended. You don't have to tell me that it showed up in your feed. I don't care. Okay, you're here. You clicked on it, and you're still here for a reason. Okay.
Donald Trump. Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys.
See, this is what they're focused on, not policy. Okay, you're asking why basically Greg was asking how come Donald Trump shouldn't just stick to policy, right? Okay, listen to the questions that are being asked. Are those policy questions? Okay, these are social questions. They're not policy questions, right?
You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with
He said that to white people, too.
White supremacists at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Because he's been president already, okay?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And
Touche. He gave her the energy back.
I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much. And, you know, and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke. And I saved them and I gave them long-term financing and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, you know, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand. I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something
Mr.
was
President,
wrong.
I would love
I think
you
it's
can
a
answer the
very
question on
nasty
your rhetoric
question.
and why you
I have
believe that
answered
black
the
voters
question.
can trust you with another
I
4
have been
years.
the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President
That's
Johnson,
my
who signed the
answer.
Voting Rights
And
Act?
for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up.
Yeah, he's feeding it back the energy that she gave. So kudos to him.
And then we'll move on to other questions here. Some of your own supporters, including Republicans on Capitol Hill, have labeled Vice President Kamala Harris, who is the first Black and Asian American woman to serve as vice president and be on a major party ticket, as a DEI hire. Is that acceptable language to you? And will you tell those Republicans and those supporters to stop it?
How do you define DEI? Go ahead. How do you define
diversity, equity, and inclusion?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Is that what your definition?
That is
give me a
literally
definition
the words
then. Would you give me a definition
DEI.
of that? Give me a definition.
Sir,
of
I'm
that.
asking you a question,
No,
a
you
very
have to
direct
define
question.
it. Define it for me if you
I
would.
just defined it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala
Basically, this is not YouTube, and he's not a black man, okay? He asked you to define it, okay? You asked him a question. He doesn't understand it. He's asking for clarification. You should be able to define what a DEI hire is, okay? And she can't. So basically, she's doing a horrible job, okay? You don't need to be, she shouldn't have been picked to actually host this particular event as a moderator. She shouldn't, okay? She's dealing with as if he was a black woman. No, dealing with as a black man. Way to read the room. They picked the wrong person, right? Because you're supposed to be a little bit more smooth with this, okay? Okay. Well, the thing is, I don't know why they think that a former president is not sharp enough to answer these questions, okay, or deflect these questions. He's been in the game, you know, for 20 years in political arena. He spent 2 years running, okay, answering these kind of questions. He spent 4 years in the White House. He spent another year and a half running, right? Okay, he knows how to answer these questions. He's more experienced and better taught about this kind of stuff than she is. She's not doing a good job. So the NABJ is horrible by picking this particular host. Okay.
Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman.
Well, I can say, no, I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much. And she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She has always identified as a black woman.
I respect either.
He's asking a question. You know, he's saying what he knows, okay? Does he even acknowledge that the assassination attempt, how Weezy and his family are recovering, his previous term, any policy questions? Wow, it is embarrassing, okay? This really is, okay? And basically he's what he's doing is putting a reverse Uno card on her, right? Okay. You asked him a question. He said, I thought she was Indian, and now she's black. And she says, well, she identifies. It doesn't matter what she's identified for. You're asking him what he knows. Okay. He's saying what he knows.
College.
I respect either one, but she obviously doesn't, because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
Just to be clear, sir, do you believe that
I think somebody should look into that too when you ask continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
It's a direct question, sir. Do you believe that Vice President?
Your tone is hostile and it is nasty. Let's play it in real time because I have it sped up. Let's play in real time so you actually hear the cadence, okay? Because I think that's important.
And Kamala Harris is a DEI hire, as some
I
Republicans
really don't
have
know.
said.
I mean, I really don't know. Could be. There are some, and there are plenty. I know this lady right over there, Harris, is a fantastic person who just interviewed me at length. And we had a great interview, I think, and I heard you got very good ratings on that.
Well,
interview.
you told me it was the longest one of your life, so we had a good discussion. Look, I want to talk about why you're here today. I mean, it is not lost on us how divided we are as a country. And as you were coming today, we really got to see that we were divided along the lines of race, along the lines of gender. And there is this question of, in this moment where we are.
Now, she should have led the discussion since they know that she was had known him and he was there. She should have been the one to actually be up front, and they should have been the tail behind. See her delivery versus hers, okay?
Why come here? What is your message today?
My message.
See her tone versus the other two. See her tone versus the other two.
Message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it. But one of the big problems, and a lot of the journalists in this room I know and I have great respect for, a lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you that coming from the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. You had the best.
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. That's what it is. Anybody that has a job.
All right.
And
Mr. President.
Can you stop interrupting him? If you want to let him talk, let him talk.
Taking the employment away from black people. They're coming in, they're invading. It's an invasion of millions of people, probably 15, 16, 17 million people. I have a feeling it's much more than that. And everybody's been seeing what's happened. The first group of people, the black population, is affected most by that. And Kamala is allowing it to happen. She's the border czar. She's the worst border czar in the history of the world. There's never been a border czar like this. She's never even.
So far, when they allow him to talk, Craig, I think he's talking about policy. Does it not sound like that's what he's doing, Craig? I said, in Fire Nations, how don't they know what black jobs are? It was a big ass thing when I was younger. They're basically they're trying to get gotchas on him, right? They think they're dealing with a black man.
She said she was there once, but not the right part of the border. So she was a border czar. She's done a horrible job. These people are coming into our country and they're taking black jobs and Hispanic jobs. And frankly, they're taking union jobs. Unions are being very badly affected by all of the millions of people that are pouring into our country. And one thing, as we discussed, many of these people are coming in from mental institutions, from prisons, from jails. They're gang members in other countries. Other countries are setting loose their prisoners. They're opening up their prisons and their mental institutions, and they're taking their bad people, drug dealers.
He's actually accurate because New York and Chicago have been complaining about that. MS Delta, appreciate you. Okay. He's actually, he's got his talking points up, but the thing is, he has a way of introducing the points and in a way that sounds like he's meandering, but he's not. The points are actually being hit.
Gang members, and they're bringing them into the United States. And by the way, their crime rate is going down, and our crime rate is going to be a disaster.
Mr. President, I want to get into how you address some of the issues with black communities. And I say that plural because we live in communities of color that are different. We're not all the same. We don't vote the same. We don't think the same. It's not monolithic.
You said communities of color, or you want to address the black community? I don't know what, sometimes they meander, okay?
So as you come here today, I want to talk about something that bursts, and this is the weight of the inflation on this country right now. The nonprofit Money Management International recently released data from its mid-year analysis that we have found a 52% rise in people who are seeking counseling for being in credit debt. They're paying for food that is sky high on their credit cards, and now they can't pay that off. The credit counseling nonprofit MMI, as I said, is saying now that they've seen surges that they haven't seen since we were in a pandemic of people in financial trouble. Much of that falls on the shoulders of single moms, single Black moms. When you look statistically, yeah. How do you turn it around? What's your plan for the Black community?
She's actually talking policy. This is, I hadn't really heard it that much, but I have to say kudos to her, because that is the way it should have gone, okay? Instead of the first 5 minutes when it got into race and policy and other he said, she said bullshit, okay? Which is actually embarrassing to Black journalists. Like the lady, I don't know her name, but the thing is, that's the way this thing should have gone. That's what I thought it was going to go, okay? And it didn't.
When it comes to money.
So first of all, it's very hard to hear you for whatever reason, because of the fact that they have bad equipment, because I guess, this woman was unable to get the right equipment. But it's very hard for me to hear you, but I can hear every other word. It's very difficult, actually. But so I don't know if they can fix it or do something with it, but I'll do the best I can with it. The inflation is absolutely destroying our middle class, our working class, virtually every class. Inflation is a disaster in our country. Inflation is a country buster. It breaks every country. And we had, in my opinion, the worst inflation we've had. They say it's 58 years, but I think it's much more than that. It's been devastating. And if you just take,
I think he's staying on point. I think he's staying on policy. I think he's not drifting into semantics or different in race or any other kind of stuff, right? Unless he gets that energy, right? Surprised they got the Black lady from Fox News in there on red is Harris Faulkner. Okay, that's the way. Regardless of whether you agree or disagree with him, that's how it's actually supposed to be function, right? That's how it's supposed to be addressed. If you're going to interview the guy, which you're supposed to be doing, even if it's a tough question, you can present it in a journalistic manner. It's supposed to be impartial, okay? Appealing to Black women is a base waste of time and population and intellect. There are no significance. Mascots at best. What do they call them? The handmaid, okay? Black women. Go back and look at the Handmaid's Tale, okay? They put them as white women, but those are actually Black women, okay? Black Prepper, King Prepper says, Fook, single moms, and Fook, the debt they made. Well, that's going to happen. The thing is, the reason they can't is because they need to produce children. And the foremost job of any society is to produce workers or people for the next generation, right? So that's how come they pay them. Is what it is, okay? Well, yeah, he is telling the truth. The thing is, he's been coached. Well, he's been coached for years, okay? You got to remember, he's an ex-president. And plus, he's been watching what's going on. And he's got people telling him what's going on as it's happening.
Take a look at a lot of things they don't include, like interest rates. Interest rates went from 2.4% to 10%, and you can't get the money. People can't buy houses. They no longer have the American dream. Young people, young Black people, they don't have the American dream anymore. They can't buy a house. They can't borrow the money because of the cost of the money. They can't buy it because of the cost of housing, because of the cost to build it, because of inflation. Inflation is a disaster, and it's destroying our country, and it's destroying.
Bunker TV, stop that shit, man, okay? Not today. You want me to play this? This is the reason I don't deal in local politics, is because of stuff like this, okay? Grow up. Stop that shit, okay? Next time you do, I'm going to time you out. Act like an adult.
The Black community probably as much or
so what
more
do you do?
Than any.
What's your plan?
You know what we have to do? We have to bring down the cost of energy, and that's going to bring down the cost of inflation. This was all started with a bad energy policy by Joe Biden. By the way, just if I might, I was running against a man named Biden. You probably saw that. And he was losing very badly.
They treated Trump like a pookie. Yep, they tried to. It didn't work. Got to remember, he still was the president of the United States, okay? He's not just some dude off the street like they're trying to talk to him like.
In the polls, and then he had a rather bad debate. I would say it was a bad debate. I would say it was one of the worst debates in history. And his poll numbers crashed. And instead of saying, let's keep going and maybe something happens the other way, they said, oh, we're going to replace him. Let's just replace him. That's like you're in a fight, a prize fighter's in a fight. He's not doing what you say, let's bring in another fighter. So our whole campaign was steered toward him, and now we have to steer toward him. But ultimately, it's the same because they have bad policy. They have policies of open borders, unbelievable open borders, horrible energy policies. They want to get rid of, as you say, gasoline in cars. They want to get rid of oil. They want to get rid of efficient heating.
Mr. President.
Environmentally, what they're doing is killing our country. They're absolutely destroying our country. But the inflation is the thing that's hurting the black worker, the black population, and every other.
All of a sudden now, after Harris, what's her name? Harris gets in and actually conducts the interview properly. Now you see them changing their tone.
Population within our country. Inflation is the worst it's been, I think, in over 100 years. And they'll fact check it. They'll say it's only 58. Whatever it may be, they don't add all the numbers. They don't add the really bad numbers, and you can check that too.
And it got 655 watching. Please, if you're gonna be here, and I'm actually doing this for you, okay? Because I really don't like domestic politics like this because it causes all kind of crap. But the thing is, I'm doing this for you. The least you can do is like the video, okay? Or downvote the video if you don't like my commentary.
But inflation, Harris, is absolutely destroying this country and the people in our country. Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
President, can I ask you another question
Yes,
that is also impacting Black Americans?
And that's very clear now. Good.
I'm sorry?
It's very clear. I hear you.
Okay. So Sonia Massey, someone from Illinois, an unarmed Black woman, was shot the other day in her home by a deputy sheriff. The deputy has since been charged with murder. You said police would get immunity from prosecution if you win. Why should someone like that officer have immunity, in your opinion?
Immunity?
Immunity.
I don't know the exact case, but I saw something, and it didn't look good to me. It didn't look good to me. Are you talking with the water, right?
Yeah, well, police unions are not backing this person either. Okay. But again, why would
they're going to be charged?
He's asking. The thing is, he's asking is about the case. He said he doesn't really know about the case that much. He's asking for clarification. Guess what? The thing is, they're listening to respond instead of listening to understand what he's trying to ask them, which I don't like, which is very unprofessional, right? He's asking for clarification, as they would.
Charging the officer. I guess they're charging the officer.
So why should he receive immunity?
Well, he might not. I mean, it depends. It depends on what happens. I'm talking about people that are much different cases than that. We need people to protect ourselves. And by the way, in Chicago, as an example, a few weeks ago, July 4th weekend, they had 117 shootings and 17 deaths. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. We need to have our police officers have the respect and dignity back. In this particular case, I saw something that didn't look good to me. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
So can you get a little more specific back to the immunity question? Who would make those
Well, right now, for the most part, people are protected by their unions, by their police unions, or by their police departments. But I'm saying if I felt, or if a group of people would feel that somebody was being unfairly prosecuted because the person did a good job maybe with crime or made a mistake, an innocent mistake. There's a big difference between being a bad person and making an innocent.
Okay, and I don't know what this has to do with the stuff he's saying here, okay? Okay, let's deal with this for a second, right? Trump said he's trying to help single mothers. How aren't even Black women seeing that? I thought Black women were the smartest women in America. They're emotional. You know that Black women aren't the smartest people in America. Come on now, stop.
Innocent mistake. But if somebody made an innocent mistake, I would want to help that person.
What would those exceptions be? What would determine
you go after somebody and it's a very close call and it's very dangerous, and you know they have the policeman's life and woman is a very difficult thing because sometimes you have less than a second to make a life and death decision, and sometimes very bad decisions are made. They're not made from an evil standpoint, but they're made from the standpoint of they made a mistake.
So I want to follow up really quickly. I find it interesting because you do talk about reining in prostitution.
Well, she might have, but you notice her tone change, okay? Regardless of who she's married to, regardless if she's a black, she's a professional journalist, okay? She would not go to the White House and talk to the president that way, okay? He's a president, ex-president of the United States, right? You cannot talk to a dignitary that way, the way they started off. The thing is, after I think was it Harris did it, right? That's the way it's supposed to be conducted. Even though it was a tough question about Sonia, about Sonia, whatever her name is, right? Her tone changed, and guess what? His tone changed. She wasn't combative. She asked him a direct question. He answered the question, right? It wasn't combative. That's the way it's supposed to be conducted. Not this. Blah, 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 blah. He ain't, this ain't a sister girl rally, okay? Paying dues. Let's go. Thank you, Mr. Tolbert. That's the way it's supposed to be conducted. Notice they calmed down after she did it, right? The problem is too many journalists want gotcha moments more than substantial moments. The thing is, you can't do that with a president, okay? And plus, you're not going to get very many gotchas out of a president because they deal with this 24/7. He's been dealing with this for 8 years, including the trials. Okay, you're not going to get very many gotchas out of him. Okay, he's very skilled at this. Okay, he was in media for 30 years. He's very skilled at this shit, right? And basically, he's running laps around him. This is actually a a classic way to actually do a reverse Uno card on hostile people, right? Very skilled. Okay, attack. In other words, you give me energy, I'll attack you back. Especially if you're not on point.
Prosecutors, especially when it comes to prosecutors that are prosecuting you. Why doesn't that skepticism apply to law enforcement?
Well, I've been prosecuted because I'm a political opponent of two people that have weaponized our justice system. I've been prosecuted. I just won the big case in Florida. Everyone said that was the biggest case. That was the most difficult case. And I just won it. Now, Biden has a similar case, except much worse. I was protected under the Presidential Records Act. Biden wasn't, because he wasn't president at the time. And he had 50 years worth of documents. And they ruled that he was incompetent, and therefore he shouldn't stand trial. And I said, isn't that something? He's incompetent and he can't stand trial. And yet, he can be president. Isn't that nice?
Mr. President,
but they released him on the basis that he was incompetent. They said he had no memory.
See, that's the reverse Uno card, okay? They asked him a question. He just pulled a reverse Uno card on him. He's very skilled at this. I said, Massey was going to throw hot water on a cop and got popped. So what's good for him? Keisha played out. The thing is that, okay, regardless of whether you think he was right or wrong, right? Okay? Regardless of whether you think he should have got popped or not, okay? His union said it's a bad shooting, okay? His police department says it's a bad shooting. They don't put cops up for murder for good shootings, okay? Whatever went down with that woman, because I didn't see the whole thing, and he popped her, he's getting charged for murder. They can't do any more than that. So I don't know why the question comes up, because about immunity. Now, he didn't get immunity in this case, okay? Due to their personal biases, they're trying to drill down on specific cases to try and find something wrong. Black ones need to be right even when they're wrong. The thing is, they're trying to get it on they try to make it a race issue, okay? No black men journalists exist. They are, but they're not in the sisterhood, right? It's mostly women. Anyway, continuing.
And he was a nice old guy, but he had no memory, and so, therefore we're not going to prosecute him. I won the case, and it got very little publicity. I didn't notice ABC doing any publicity on it, George.
We covered you extensively, sir. I'd love to move over on to
I didn't notice you do any publicity on it.
That's a hell of a reverse Uno card. In other words, you're talking about prosecutors and immunity. You have no respect for prosecutors. Said, well, or you respect prosecutors more. And he said, no. Basically, they try to prosecute me, and so he had a chance to do a reverse Uno card. Very skilled.
At all. I won the case, the biggest case. This is an attack on a political opponent. I have another one where I have a hostile judge.
We have you for a limited time, sir. I'd love to move on to different topics.
Excuse you. You're the one that held me up at 35 minutes, just so you know.
Oh.
If we can move on now.
Reverse Uno card, okay? She's not good at this. Not with him. This is above her pay grade. You can tell.
To the state of the race, sir, I want to get back to the campaign. Senator J.D. Vance is your running mate. He's had a lot of controversy lately, and I want to read you a few things that he has said in the past. He said the Democrats running the country are a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too. He's not talking here about how great it is to be a parent. He's attacking what he says are the choices people are making to not have children. Did you know that he had these views about people who do not have children before you picked him to be your running mate? And do you agree with him?
No, I know this. He is very family oriented, and he thinks family is a great thing. That doesn't mean he thinks that if you don't have a family, it's not. I know people with families. I know people with great families. I know people with very troubled families. And I also know people with no families. They didn't meet the right person. Things happen. You go through life, you don't meet the right person.
But he's not just talking about families here. He also said.
In other words, why don't you ask him about what he said, okay? Why don't you ask J.D. Vance, because Donald Trump can say, I don't know, I didn't hear it. But she won't accept that.
That people that don't have children should get less votes than those that do.
I'm just speaking for myself.
Is that your
I think
campaign
I'm speaking for him too. He strongly believes in family, But I know people with great families. I know people with not great families that don't have a family. And the people without the family are far better. They're superior.
You get a president in front of you, and this is the crap that you come up with to ask him. Really? This about cat ladies and more votes from his vice president? Okay, it's not what he said. It's what his vice president may have said, and it could have been jokingly. It's out of context. This is what you come up with. This is all you got.
In many cases, okay? He's not saying they're not. What he's saying is that he thinks the family experience is a very important thing. It's a very good thing. But that doesn't mean that if you grow up and you grow older and you don't meet somebody that would be wonderful to meet and would have been good, that's a bad thing. He's not saying that. My interpretation, you'll have to ask him actually, but my interpretation is he's strongly family oriented. But that doesn't mean if you don't have a family, there's something wrong with it.
Just one last point and then we'll move on. Just one of the bedrock principles of American life is one person, one vote. Senator J.D. Vance has suggested that someone who has children should have more votes than a person who does not have children. I just want to be clear here. Is that the position of your campaign?
Well, no, but it's not something I've ever heard before. I can tell you this. Right now you have illegal aliens coming into our country, many from prisons and many from...
Here's the reverse Uno card, right? So you open it up the gate. Here comes the reverse Uno card. He's very skilled at this. She's not. You can tell. Look at her. She said, "Oh shit! I opened up a can of worms."
Mental institutions, and they want to give them votes. I don't think they should have votes. They came into our country illegally, and they're taking the vote away from all of the people in this room that have been here a long time, that have worked hard. That in many cases, and you'll see this happening. If I'm not elected, you're going to see it happening. If I am, you're not going to have any problem. But you're going to see it happening. A long time, you're going to see the people in this room and people outside of this room are going to be losing their jobs. The people that have come into this country.
Well, you open up can of worms. It's reverse Uno card. They should have had a brother asking questions, or basically, she should not have been the lead inquisitor. Okay, you know it's the difference between her and the woman in red. Okay,
illegally.
Mr. President, can we stay with just kind of the state of the race right now? Because I felt like that vice president question, candidate question was right in there with that. So let's talk about J.D. Vance for a little bit. He's had some stumbles out of the gate. I don't know if you're hearing what we hear as reporters, but it's been a tough couple of weeks for him. Why did you choose?
So that's the way it's supposed to be presented, okay? That's the way it should have been presented. Regardless of what it was, that's the way it should have been presented. I bet a year's pay, the lady in the blue talks to all the men in her life like this. She does. You know, if she has been in her life, because she might not, she might be she might do some meow meow meow, meow 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 meow, she might do that. She's a hostile black feminist, okay?
Choose J.D. Vance.
Why
did you choose him? And I'm having a hard time hearing too. I know everybody out there can, but it's hard.
I'll tell you why. I chose him because he's a very strong believer in work and the working man and woman, and especially the working man and woman who have been treated very unfairly, because you have many of them in this room. But you have many of those people, they were treated very unfairly. They worked very hard and they were treated unfairly. He wrote the book that became a bestseller. The movie became a smash hit.
Said this woman won't get a second shot at an interview. This is it for them, being close to a president, the top in their field. I think this is a very bad misstep.
He's a very smart guy. Without the benefit of having a family that has contacts, like a father that was well connected. He got into Yale Law School. He graduated in 2 years from Ohio State, summa cum laude. I mean, you take a look at, his career has been an amazing career. He started off at a level with a difficult family situation, very difficult with the mother and the father and everything else. He ends up going to Yale Law School and was one of the top students, became the head of the law journal. I mean, that's an amazing thing. He's a 4-year, he was in the military with great distinction for 4 years, got out, went into business, became successful in business, very successful in business, actually, did public offerings and other things. And I have to believe in that. I mean, he's somebody that was born in a rough situation. Most of the people know that situation because it was very well documented in his book. And I have a lot of respect for somebody that can get into Yale and become one of the best students in Yale, that meets a young woman at Yale who was also outstanding, and they get married, they have a beautiful family, but he had he's made himself an amazing life. He then goes to Ohio, lives in Ohio, and he had my endorsement. That helped. But he wins the Senate. He becomes the United.
And do you think Vance would have been the VP pick if Biden hadn't dropped out? Yeah, I still think so. Yeah, I still think so. I think because Biden was there is the reason he really picked him.
States senator. So he's a United States senator.
So,
and so, Harris, like I respect you for your success, I respect people for their success.
The reason I asked the question is because the last time you and I sat and talked was the day that you were shot. We've been together for much of that day. You left to go to Butler, Pennsylvania, and we didn't know what was next.
Yeah.
And 2 days after that,
I cannot understand your microphone.
I know
so
it is
muffled.
really hard for me
I
to
mean, it's
understand.
just I can understand you perfectly.
Because she's
Whoa.
closer.
I can understand you,
I'm happy to hear that.
but
sir.
I can't
Really happy to hear
understand
that.
Harris
I have a few more questions.
because of the distance and the mics are really in lousy shape. But I cannot understand
So,
what you're saying.
so what I wanted to say was the last time we spoke, you said some words that were prophetic because I asked you who you wanted to choose for vice president.
Yep.
And you said normally it really wouldn't matter what they would bring, you choose somebody that you think has a future, that sort of thing. But you said these words 3.5 hours before an attempted assassination on your life. You told me that bad things happen, Harris, and that's why this decision is important this time. Bad things happen. You said it twice. When you look at J.D. Vance, is he ready on day one?
Does he what?
Ready on day one, if he has to be.
I've always had great respect for him and for the other candidates too. But I will say this, and I think this is well documented. Historically, the vice president, in terms of the election, does not have any impact. I mean, virtually no impact. You have 2 or 3 days where there's a lot of commotion as to who, like you're having it on the Democrat side, who it's going to be. And then that dies down, and it's all about the presidential pick. Virtually.
Exactly. I was trying to tell Art Newstyle the same thing. Talking about J.D. Vance's wife. Okay. And the optics and all that kind of stuff. I was saying to him, it has no impact. And you basically you're pulling straws. But you talked about what he said. J.D. Vance may have said in a Senate or in a speech or during a conference or whatever years ago, has no impact on whether Donald Trump gets elected or not. They're trying to marry something that somebody else may have said that we have no clue about what he said or where he said it, and marry that to Donald Trump.
Never has it mattered. Maybe Lyndon Johnson mattered for different reasons than what we're talking about, not for vote reasons, but for political reasons, other political reasons. But historically,
that's the way it is on campus, man. That's why I called it the gynocracy. There's a reason I named it the gynocracy, right? There's a reason I titled it the way titled, because this is very typical in academic and settings, social settings like this, not professional. If it's STEM or something like that, then black men are actually represented. But in places like this, that are social science, like psychology or social science, or political science, or even journalism, right? It's mostly female. Tori just said it's mostly female. Like 90%? It says, seriously, what are the other 2 chicks up there for, and why aren't they just jotting down notes on how to interview a president? They should be. Basically, that's what they should do. I think they are. I think that's how come they calm down, right? Because they had a professional actually on the seat. These other 2, I don't know, have they done this before or not, because it doesn't seem like it.
The choice of a vice president makes no difference. You're voting for the president, and you can have a vice president who's outstanding in every way, and I think JD is. I think that all of them would have been, but you're not voting that way. You're voting for the president. You're voting for me. If you like me, I'm going to win. If you don't like me, I'm not going to win.
I'm going to get my J.D. Vance question in.
JD Vance?
I'm going to get my J.D. Vance question in. To your point and to Rachel's point, he, has a lot of opinions about childless women like myself or divorced people like yourself. Do you think, well, I mean, my point is here.
It was said in a friendly manner.
My point is, do you think the Republican Party is getting a little bit too judgy about people's lives when you think about abortion or when you think about what J.D. Vance is saying?
I don't think, look, I think that the Democrat Party is really the one that has the problem. I think they're radical on abortion because they're allowing abortion in the
Garrett Grant, appreciate you. Grinch says this janky jigaboo jubilee will last around the hyena. For years, Trump will decimate the plantation. The weak will starve, the strong will rise. It was going to happen anyway, okay? It's going to happen anyway. Even under Kamala, it's going to happen anyway. Trump says the quiet parts out loud, and that's one reason why the system hates him. That is true. He's unfiltered, which is another reason I hate him. Dub Will says, I asked that question incorrectly. Do you think Vance would have been the pick if Biden never decided to run again and Harris is the original choice? That I do not know. I still think he would have been. I think he would have been is because of the Ukraine policy. Even if Kamala runs, Kamala has to depend on the people that are already there. Kamala, I don't think, can build another coalition to the in the same skill that Biden did. So she'd be almost running the same policy because I don't think she's taking a stance on some of these things. Well, we don't know. So I still think JD Vance probably still would have been his choice because of the billionaires, because of the Ukraine thing, and because I think JD Vance reminds Donald Trump of himself when he was younger. I think JD Vance is like Donald Trump. They're Sigmas, okay, and I think that's why. Don Jr. and him are friends. That's probably there's a lot of reasons why he picked him. Okay.
9th month. They're allowing the
But
death.
I think it's
They're
about
allowing
freedom,
the death
right?
of a baby after the baby is born, based on
Sir,
the
that's
governor
illegal
of
in every
Virginia.
state in the country.
Based on the governor.
And can you let him finish what he's saying? Okay, he's the president. You ask him a question, let him answer it.
Governor of
Executing
Virginia,
a
they're
baby in
allowing the
every
death
state
of
in
the
the country
baby
is illegal.
after it's born.
It's a
They're
crime.
allowing abortions in the 8th and 9th month.
Well, Democrats have denied.
I think they're right, and I think the Republican Party is actually.
I wish I had a skill, man, because people talking, trying to talk through you, doesn't throw him off balance. I wish I had this skill. He's going to keep talking what he's talking about. I guess that comes from being in New York, where people can talk at you and you keep saying what you're saying. You're not thrown off track. So that's the skill I wish I had.
Much less. I think I've made them much less radical, perhaps. But the Republican Party, what we're doing is bringing it back to the states where everybody wanted it. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservative, everybody wanted abortion brought back. They didn't want Roe v. Wade in the federal government. They wanted it. Everybody.
But the majority of Americans oppose Roe v. Wade being overturned.
They don't know about this. Right now, they're voting. It brought it back to the states. Now, I happen to believe in the 3 exceptions. Ronald Reagan believed with rape, incest, life of the mother. I do. I think most people do. I think most Republicans do also. But if you take a look, right now they're doing, it's an amazing thing. Out of the federal government, it's in states, and people are voting. And I will say, Ohio is, let's call it a more liberal version, has been approved. Kansas, the same thing, a little bit surprising to a lot of people. But the people are now voting. And it's taking this issue that's been going on for 52 years and has torn our country apart, and it's giving it to the people to vote on. And they're voting. And many states have already voted. Others are in the process of voting. And it's bringing it back to the people and a vote of the people. And it's not at all radical. And again, you have to follow your heart. I happen to believe in the 3 exceptions. Most people believe in the 3 exceptions. Most Republicans believe in the exceptions. But they don't want to see an abortion in the 9th month or the 8th month. Almost everybody agrees to that. And they certainly don't want to see, in the case of the governor of Virginia, the former governor, I might add, who said, we set the baby aside and then we decide what to do. Meaning, what do? We execute the baby. That's a radical, horrible position. And some people want that. I don't want it. Most people don't.
Thank you. Can I just pivot really quickly to another question about, you brought up health, Harris. You're an active man. We see you golfing all the time. But if you win, you'll still be president at 82.
No.
Which is older than Biden is right now.
But not mentally. Look, mentally.
Here's a question.
Ooh, you walk right into that one. You walk right into that. If this was a game of double dutch, the chick in the blue is the one that says, I got it. Jumps in, off beat, and gets tangled on a rope and the shoe thrown at her. Yeah, she was yeah, that's not her best moment. Let's put it that way.
He shot. But most people,
Would you consider?
most people, I know many people in their 80s and their 90s that are in great shape. Some of our greatest leaders. You look at throughout the world history, the greatest leaders, some of the greatest leaders in the world were in their 80s.
But here's the question. Would you consider stepping down if you felt that your health was declining? Or would you?
Oh, absolutely.
And who would
I think I'd know.
How would you make that decision?
I think I'd know. Look, if I came onto a stage like this and I got treated so rudely as this woman treated
Oh my
me,
goodness.
and I'm fine with it because she was very rude, sir. Very rude. That was a nasty, that wasn't a question. She
Sir,
didn't ask
you
me a
can answer the
question.
question.
She gave a statement. That wasn't a question.
I repeated your
answer the
statement, sir,
question.
actually.
You said you would. You would
Oh,
make that
absolutely.
decision
If I
to step
thought
down.
that I was failing in some way, I want people to be sharp. I'll go a step further. I want anybody running for president.
They got to remember how petty Trump actually is. And you thought that you got by with it. No, Trump is petty. Okay. He's petty. Here's what pissed me off about the black media. None of these women were truly listening. I can care less about Trump and his arrogancy. It is to be expected, but these women were seduced by Trump. No, they weren't. Okay, especially the one in the blue. She can't stand him. They weren't seduced. They're just outskilled. Okay, they weren't seduced. The thing is, the one, I think her name is Harris. That's the way this interviews are actually supposed to be conducted, not the way she's doing, not the way this woman is doing it. This woman right here, okay, the way she's conducting herself is not the way it's supposed to be done. Okay, I don't know what you've seen, but this is not the way it's done.
To take an aptitude test, to take a cognitive test, I think it's a great idea. And I took 2 of them, and I aced them.
Well,
I took 2 of them. But let me ask you, I would like to have people running for president, and I don't mean because they're 75 or 85. I think anybody running, I'd like to do it. People say it's not constitutional. I would like to have something passed where you can do it.
I think he's very cognitive. I think he passed the cognitive test, okay? Are we really talking about saving whores but deleting fetuses? Because that is a very, okay, it's called a very important topic in the United States. It's a very important election topic. So yes, we are talking about abortion. Okay, it's been go back and check. It's been a topic since 1965 and ongoing. It has not stopped. So I don't know how you were educated, but yes, they are talking about it because it's relevant. So I don't know what you think is important versus what is not important, but it's relevant. Okay, especially the voters, especially the female voters.
I think we should know. I mean, I've watched what's happened in the last couple of years under this gentleman, and our country is a mess. We have inflation. We have the millions of people falling in. We have Afghanistan, which was the worst, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. What he has done to our country, and her too, what they've done to our country. She has been a horrible vice president. She's considered the worst vice president in the history of our country.
Don't mean to interrupt you, but would you consider taking the cognitive test?
Mr. President,
I would love to
and make it public.
Well, I've already taken 2 of them, but I'll do it again.
Mr. President, how do you intend to?
I suggested Harris.
He answered a question like 3 or 4 times. Okay, you're sitting here right with him. You think he needs to take a cognitive test versus Joe Biden? Really?
That let's take one. I said Joe and I will go and take a cognitive test. Now, I'd do it with her too. I would do it with her also. You know what? She failed her law exam. She didn't pass her law exam, so maybe she wouldn't pass the cognitive test.
Mr. President,
are you saying she wouldn't pass? Just to be clear,
I'm just giving you the facts.
To be clear, you don't think Harris?
How do you intend?
She didn't pass her bar exam, and she didn't think she would pass it, and she didn't think she was going to have to pass it. And I don't know what happened. Maybe she passed it.
She did pass it.
There's a man over here. I think he must work.
Mr. President, I would love to ask you about January 6th. You called yourself the candidate of law and order. Yeah. When Time Magazine asked you if you would consider pardoning all the rioters, you said, yes, absolutely. Sure. You called them patriots. 140 police officers were assaulted that day. Their injuries included broken bones. At least one officer lost an eye.
No, that's actually a relevant question, okay?
One had 2 cracked ribs, 2 smashed spinal discs. Another had a stroke. Were the people who assaulted those 140 officers, including those I just mentioned, patriots who deserve pardons?
Well, let me bring it back to modern day. Like about 5 days ago, we had an attack on the Capitol, a horrible attack on the Capitol. You saw the people that were protesting. And
let's see, the chick in the black is equivalent of a SoundCloud rapper who swears he's Nas and can rap without rhyming, but sounds like a dumpster fire floating down the street in a flash flood. I can't take you nowhere, KMS.
Spraying these incredible monuments, bells, lions, all these magnificent limestone and granite with red paint, red spray paint, that will never actually come off, especially in the limestone. It will never, I'm a builder, I know about this stuff. It'll never, you'll see it in 100 years from now. They viciously attacked our government. They fought with police. They fought with them much more openly than I saw on January 6th. What's going to happen to those people? What's going to happen to the people in Portland that destroyed that city?
But sir, my question is on those.
What's going to happen to
my
the people
question is
that
on
tried
those
to burn
rioters who assaulted officers.
You have to
would you pardon
what's
those
going to
people?
happen? Oh, absolutely, I would.
You would pardon those?
If they're innocent, I would pardon them.
They've been convicted.
And by the way, the Supreme Court just well, they were convicted by a very tough system. How come the people that tried to burn down Minneapolis, how come the people that took over a large percentage of Seattle, How come nothing happened to them? How come the
But
people
sir, we're
that,
talking about
how
people
come
that
the
were
people-
seen
no, no,
beating
no. We're
officers
talking
with
about federal
flagpoles,
buildings.
dragging them down the stairs. They're on
They
video. Have you seen that
really?
video,
Oh,
sir?
really? Well, they
you would
shot-
pardon those? You would pardon those rioters?
They shot a young lady in the face who was protesting. They shot her in the face. You know, nobody died that day. You do know that. But people died in Seattle. Nobody died, but people died in
140
Minneapolis.
officers
You know,
were
people died in
assaulted that
Minneapolis.
day.
And nothing happens, and nobody ever talks, and nothing happens to those people. But you went after the J6 people with a vengeance. And I'll tell you what about the cops that were, and I'm all for the police, as you know, but what about the police that are ushering everybody into the Capitol? Go in, go in, go in. What about that? Look, nothing is perfect in life, but you have people from Minneapolis, you have people just from 5 days ago in Washington, D.C., they were having fistfights and fighting with the police. They were spraying and destroying, they were desecrating our monuments in Washington, D.C. 5 days ago, and nothing happened to them. And you can't have two systems of justice. That's why they went after me as a political opponent, because they felt they couldn't win without doing that. And we're going to win our cases and we're going to be vindicated. But I have to spend a lot of time on that and money. That's what they want. After the election, they won't care. Although in my case, I think they probably will, because the hatred is pretty deep. But I'll tell you, they went after me as a political opponent. That's never happened in our country before. And it sets a terrible, terrible precedent.
What do you do on day one if you win? What's your first thing?
What do? I close the border. And I do two things, because I can do a lot of things simultaneously. I close the border. We don't want people coming. We want people to come in, Harris, but they have to be vetted. They have to be checked. They have to come in legally. I want people to come into our country, but they have to be vetted. They have to be checked. So when you say, what do? That, and I drill, baby, drill. I bring energy way down. I bring interest rates down. I bring inflation way down, so people can buy bacon again, so people can buy a ham sandwich again, so that people can go to a restaurant and afford it. Because right now, people can't buy food. Your grocery bills are up 40, 50, 60%. Right? She's agreeing to me. Oh,
he's staying on message. Okay, he's staying on message right here. Okay, Craig said he needs to stay on message. I think he's staying on message, sir. Sounds like that to me. Unless he's asked something that's off topic, I think he's staying on talking points. He has not attacked her personally. Okay. Other than say that you asked him about a cognitive test, and he said, okay, well, what about Kamala Harris? She needed to take one too, because she flunked her first bar exam. So. Which is a fair shot. Okay, he's staying on point.
Well, she's agreeing. Thank you. I like you very much.
Mr. President, I think we are.
But it's true. Your grocery bills are up, and then they're mandating that you buy an all-electric car. You know, Elon Musk endorsed me, and he's a friend of mine. He's a good guy. He's a smart guy. But I'm against everybody having an electric car. Okay, I'm very much against that. You have to be able to, if you want a hybrid or if you want a gasoline-propelled car, but. You know, we have more liquid gold, gasoline, oil under our feet than any other country. More than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia, more than any other country.
That is true. That is true. We pump more oil than any other country on the planet. That is true.
I want to use it. I want to use what we have. I want to bring down prices, bring down costs, and I also have to stop the invasion. And remember, they're taking your jobs. These people coming in are taking your job.
Project 2025.
I think we have to leave it there by the Trump team.
All right.
So leave it. That is the last word. Thank you so much, Mr. Trump, for coming today and joining us.
Oh no, that's the first really was when she first shook his hand, and that last thing was she was actually polite. Okay, she should have done that throughout the whole thing. You can actually get your point across, get your questions in without being antagonistic. Okay. This should be a lesson to how to conduct an interview, okay, to those two ladies, okay? Should be a lesson. Should be a master class. And it's also a master class to the reverse Uno card. He's too skilled for these two ladies. I'm sorry to say. He's way too skilled. Okay. I don't know why they picked these two young ladies. Okay. I don't know why they picked them, but they shouldn't have, in my opinion. They were not up to the task.
Well, thank you very much.
They've been telling us.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, very much. Great
Thank
honor.
you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
NABJ will email about details regarding the conversation with Vice President Kamala Harris in September.
They actually enjoyed him. You know, regardless of whether they liked him or not, they actually enjoyed him. PBD podcast said the same thing on message, and you will win in a landslide. Okay. PBD. Who's PBD? I don't know who PBD is. I'm not sure who PBD is. Okay, let me answer a few questions and then we'll get out of here. Okay, this is what you guys wanted, so I produced today. So at the very least, give me some likes. Okay, put some spec on my name because I did this one for you. I'm not particularly interested in what gynocrats have to say about Trump and get their angst. It probably, it could have went south. If it wasn't for homegirl in the red, basically it would have went south. Okay. She was the only pro in the building. That's probably why they put her on there. That's probably why he actually did it, is because she was actually part of the crew. Had she not been, I don't think he would have came. Okay, but the other two, they need to put their big girl panties on and go back to school and get some more experience because they're not fit to actually interview a president. This was a contest in being sneaky petty. The two ladies in black and blue are Harold Melvin in the blue notes, and Trump is Petty Pendergrass. They're fighting, but they know they're outclassed and can't keep up. Well, they fight. I think because they deal with black men all the time, they think that everybody's a black man. They think that we were going to respond the same way. Okay, that is a powerful white man. Okay, and he has been in media for a long time, and he just took out the belt and spanked them, in my opinion, and spanked them. And now they're whining that they were treated poorly. Bullshit. Okay, deserved everything you got. In fact, the one lady on the end, basically, she was respectful to him. He never raised his voice. He was very respectful to her. He answered her questions cogently. She gave him a chance to fully answer her question, and he stayed on message, right? You asked him stuff, and he stayed on message for the most part. The other two chicks, he didn't, because I think he kind of lost, especially the one in blue, he kind of lost respect. He took shots at her, deservedly so. Well, the thing is, they're hiding her. I don't think Kamala. I don't, personally, I don't think Kamala's ready for this job. But the thing is, they're gonna try to push her in it because they don't have any choice. They swear they won this, from what I'm hearing. Well, the thing is, you're seeing what they saw. What do you think? Doesn't matter it don't matter what they think. What do you think? You just saw it. What do you think? You without me will never go platinum. I don't think Kamala's ready. That's just me. Okay. I have Kamala. That I don't think Kamala in the past 2 weeks has showed me anything that she's worthy of being president. That's just me. No matter what other people say, she hasn't shown anything that's presidential. Not to me. Maybe she'll surprise me. Okay. Hopefully she does. You know. I want at least a good contest if there's going to be one. I don't want her Kamala to be roadkill, which is what she's looking like right now. Yeah, she did, but she did. But the thing is, she's in the spot now. So the thing is, what does she do now? I think it's crazy people are only focusing on Kamala, the race quit, because that's all they have. They can't talk about Kamala on policy because she doesn't have anything, right? They can't talk about her record because she doesn't have one. The only thing they can actually point out to is race. That's how come they stick to race, because that's the only thing that they have. Race and maybe gender. In fact, that's what they said. The only two things she can actually run on is race and gender, and she doesn't do that well. I said, Bad Black Gamer said, let's face it, some of those B-dubs were wet after this. I don't know. Possibly. I said, black women, liberals, and Democrats have been fear-mongering about Project 2020 until people started to read it. I think they're fear-mongering to the thing is, what we did, and I think it started with the Black Manosphere, right? I think what we did is challenge people to actually read the document. And I think once we start challenging people to actually read the document, that's when the fear went away. Okay, if you're really afraid of Project 2025, read the goddamn thing. Okay. I said, Robert Benjamin said this was a classic. I guess so. Put some respect on your name. Appreciate you, Mr. Tolbert. Roadkill has a function. It keeps scavengers fed. Yeah, but not in this particular. It's back to spam. It's back to spam and code hangers, Keisha. Now, actually, 55% of the voting populace is female. If they want to have abortions, they can vote it in by states. Abortion is not gotten rid of, right? It's gone. All they did was kick it back to the states. If women want abortion, they can actually vote it in like they're supposed to, like Trump just said. If you want abortion, vote it in. Okay, they have enough females to vote it in. Evidently, there's enough women that don't want it. Okay, you're on the freeway. Oh, in Hanford. Okay, okay. I don't think I ever met your daughter, but I was playing playing the intro that he did for me, man. Everybody's digging it, man. They like your bass work. They said the bass is funky. Okay, so this is Alan Lavelle. Um, he's done my 2 intros to the music to my 2 intros. So everybody give him a hand. Okay, if you like the funky beat, I'm actually gonna end with it. If you like the funky beat that he lays down, man, give him a 1. You know. Let's see. Let's check for cash apps just in case. Oh man, I got a bunch of them. Okay. Electrician 480, appreciate you. Okay, it's Jermaine's fault. Castorian, appreciate you. Okay. Supreme Pivot, appreciate you. Swift, appreciate you. And Trouble Man from Detroit, appreciate you. Okay. I did this one for you guys. Okay. So tomorrow will be Ask Me Anything, probably. Okay. I'm actually gonna do the thing about Joy Reid as a standalone. Okay. Oh, no problem, man. You know, hey, you deserve it. I'm actually gonna do Joy Reid as a standalone. Okay. So look for that. I wanted to do it as a live, but I actually will do it as a standalone. Also, I probably want to do the thing about mixed race and colorism. Okay, I think I will do that as a pre-recorded. I probably will put that on my BGS Black Gnostic Black Pill Gnostic page. So look for that. Trump ran circles around those gynocrats, and he will also run circles around Kamala too. Trump finna sweep that ass in November. As he said, sweep the leg, right? Okay, sweep the leg. Can we define the Black American? Go ahead, boss. Okay, because trust and believe. I've been in this hell. I've been in this. I remember when James Brown, we went from colored to Negro, and we went from Negro to Black to African American. So I've been there. We were not Black until 1968. Okay, but thing is, the diaspora has embraced Blackness. Okay, I just had an argument with like a month and a half ago about a brother down in Latin America that defines himself as Black. So, and when people come over that look like us, we define them as Black. So how would you like to define it? Because we go over to Africa and say everybody's Black, and the Africans say, you know, over here we're not Black. So you define it, because we put that on everybody. So if you want to define it, fine. Okay. And the thing is, I really don't care. Okay. I really don't care. If you accept these people as Black, okay, and you went throughout school, they go through the experience, you put them up, the sisterhood accepts them, you accept them, they Black. Okay. You might not like them, but they Black. I have to keep explaining the Nigerians aren't Jamaican and Ghanaian aren't Haitian. Why can't we? Okay, the easiest way, Fire Nation, to actually get rid of it. You want to get rid of it? You want to get rid of it, Fire Nation? You want to know how? Okay. You want to know how? You want to know how to get rid of it? If you really want to be defined, you know how? You want to know? Put a 1 in, Fire Nation, if you really want to know. Put a 1 in. If you really want to know, put a 1 in. It's called Negro. That's on your birth certificate. That's your class. That's what you were named as, a class of people coming from slavery. Negro. Go back to Negro. Okay. There are only one set of Negroes on the planet. That's foundational Black Americans. There are no more Negroes. Okay. Go back to Negro. You don't have to worry about it. How do we get our Faulkner to battle the female Bizarro Faulkner? That's a good question. You got to ask him. Okay. It's called Negro. Well, the thing is, well, then you can't do nothing about it, right? Black is a color, okay? Just like white people are white when they come from Europe, okay? They white, doesn't matter where they came from, right? The Arabs, they come over here, they white, they're classified as white. Black is the classification, okay? It's not a race, it's classification. James, appreciate you for the Cash App. I don't know why y'all make a big deal of this shit. If you want to be identified for your unique culture, call yourself Negroes again. They'll solve all those goddamn problems. Black is the generic term that's based on classification, right? So Africans coming over here, Jamaicans coming over here, Afro Latinos coming here, they're classified as what? Black. Francis Cress Welsing. It's a classification. You didn't do it, and then ain't shit you can do about it, right? I don't care what you do. You don't like other people being called black? Fine. Call yourself Negro and call it a day because they're not Negroes, okay? Negrito, Negro in the United States as an English word, is a classified people. It's on your birth certificate, okay? I don't care what it means. White is something else, right? Is a color. Universal, right? Negro is a classified classification they gave for foundational Black Americans, okay? It's called Negro. That's what they gave you, coming out of the slave quarters. If you want it, stick to it. Go back. In other words, Negro is negrito, okay? Negra, okay? It's a Spanish word. The thing is, it doesn't matter where it came from. Okay. Okay. Can I ask you something? Can I ask you guys something, especially you guys in here? Do you guys really read? You guys read at all? You guys read? Because you're acting like you don't read. You're acting like third graders that don't read. But other people call themselves Negroes. What other people call themselves Negroes? Name me one. Name me another group of people call themselves Negroes or were called Negroes with that spelling. Okay. No. I want to hear it. Name another people that call themselves Negroes. I don't want to hear with the conjugation or the meaning of the goddamn word. Name me one. Name me one. It doesn't matter where the term came from. Name me another group that classifies themselves as Negroes. That's what I asked. Name me another broadly generalized group that classified themselves for hundreds of years as Negroes. Name me one. Name me one. Negrito. Does it say Negrito on your birth certificate for your older folks? Does it say Negrito? A negra. I didn't ask you that. You have a lot of Spanish words in actually it's Latin. You have a lot of Latin words, okay, that's in English. That's not the question that I asked. Why don't you guys focus on the question that I asked? You were classified as Negroes. If you actually want to go back and be separate from black as a distinct group of people inside America, go use your old classification. Okay, you're classified as Negroes inside the United States. Okay, go back to that. An Afro-Latina, an Afro-Latina comes from whatever country they come from, is going to be classified as whatever country they come from. They'll be classified as Spanish or Latino. Now, if they pick you up, okay, and you look like the common Negro, you start speaking Spanish, they might call you a nigger, but they're gonna say you're not from around here, you're not a Negro. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know where to get you guys from, man. Y'all need to go back and read more. And stop with this, you know. I mean, one of the reasons that I had to stop hanging around a lot of pro-blacks, we go down rabbit holes that are bullshit arguments. Okay, it's a bullshit argument. I ask you a direct question, you can't give me an answer. Okay, I know the root of it is Latin. Okay, just like any other root word, just like Portuguese and Spanish, right? Okay. Oh, really? Okay. Really, son? There it is. I got a few minutes. There it is. Come on with that bullshit, man. Aboriginal peoples, those are peoples, okay? They ain't the same people that came over on boats. African peoples went all over the planet, including Europe. That's beside the point. Oh, the link is there. You don't have to stay in the chat. The link is right there. You know, I don't want to start calling people low IQ, but I'm getting ready to. Low IQ arguments. He asked me a question about black. Okay, you don't want all these people to be defined as black. I said if you want to be classified distinct from the other black people on the planet, go back to your original classification, which is Negro, which is what it was. It doesn't matter where it came from. Okay, that was on your birth certificate. It was on mine. Yeah, for hundreds of years, I'm just reading this on all these old documents from the 30s and 40s, right? You're classified as Negro in the United States, which is part of the one drop rule, Plessy versus Ferguson. That's your classification, okay? You don't like it, so what? So I answered one specific question, not to get into a breakout about what you feel, because all this shit is about feeling. It has nothing to do with fact. Okay? Zero. All right, you guys. Let me get out of here before I get upset. So, man, if you want to talk about this shit, man, you're off topic. Go someplace else with that shit. Okay? Today. Okay? Do that tomorrow. But I don't see you. I don't see you clicking on the link. So that means your arguments are bullshit. Okay? In other words, you're arguing about you. The thing is, you can't win arguments, so you're gonna deflect, just like women are. This is a female argument. That's what's going on right now. That's what females do. That's what females do. Female fucking argument. A low IQ female argument is what's going on right now. Anyhow, let me get out of here before I start cussing and getting upset. All right, it's devolving into something else. Okay, y'all, you guys can go do that shit someplace else. Okay. I'm gonna play the intro as an outro, and we out of here, right? Seminoles were mixed. Okay, that's why they call them Seminoles. Those are escaped African slaves that went down to Florida and mixed with the American Indians. Go look it up. Go look up. Y'all don't even look up your own fucking history. Let me get out of here before I get upset. Oh, really? Okay. Okay, nigga, bring your ass up here, okay? Can't overtalk the truth. Bring your ass up here. There's the link. Bring your ass up here. Bring your ass up here. Go back and look up what Seminoles actually are, okay? Bring your ass up here. You don't, low IQ niggas don't even fucking read, man. Why you think okay? Seminoles, okay? They were mixed, escaped African slaves, okay? That went down to Florida for freedom because Florida was still held by Spain. And they mixed in with the tribes. That's why they call them Seminoles, okay? They're not an original tribe. Go look it up. Look at it. Okay, all right, you guys. Go ahead and time these cats out, man. Coming in with this bullshit. Time them out, okay? I think you guys should leave before you get blocked, okay? All right.
What's up, bro?
What's up?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, this is what I want your chat to do. Google Choctaw Tribe and click image. You'll see a lady called Chief Warhouse. She's from Louisiana.
Okay.
Do that. That's the first thing I need you to do.
Hold on. Let me ask you. Hold on, question.
No. Don't deflect. Hold on. Wait. I just came in.
Hey. My show. Ask you a question.
Respect.
Ask you a question, okay?
Okay.
How old is the photograph?
Recent.
How old is the photograph?
Recent.
In other words, by the time they actually have photographs, right? Okay, was 1850s, something like that. Okay.
No, recent. Chief Warhouse is still living.
So, in other words, guess what's being imported for 400 years, sir?
Sir, look, you're deflecting right now. You're deflecting.
I'm not. I'm asking a question. Guess who owns slaves, sir?
Both.
Native Americans own slaves.
Okay, but who's the indigenous Americans? Listen, Native American, anybody can be a Native American, bro. So can I just talk just for 1 minute? Just for 1 minute.
No, you okay?
To women, bro. But go ahead. It's your show.
I let you up here, right? I asked you a question, right? Okay. My girlfriend, who's black, has Native American blood in her. Okay. It's called mixing, sir. They own slaves. They mixed. So any image after the 1700s, they're mixed people. What does it prove?
You should narrate be to answer a certain question, bro. I'm not going to do that. I just want you to finish. Say what I got to say.
All right. This is what we're doing, okay? Bye. Get the fuck out of here. They basically, and this is something. Go back and look at Claude Anderson talking about the Native Americans that didn't accept their black slaves that they mixed with as part of the resolution with the five, what they call them, the five civilized tribes, right? Okay, Choctaw was one of those people. Okay, they had black slaves. Okay, and they produced. Guess what they did? They produced black people or mixed kids that looked black. Okay, and they brought them into the tribe. Like I said, my girlfriend was one of those people. Okay, if I looked at her and I went down to Latin America, have a whole bunch of natives, unmixed Native Americans that are unmixed, just that built just like her. She built just like a Native American, right? In fact, when she went to court, that was part of the thing as far as custody of her son, is because he couldn't be tried as a black person because he had Native American blood. So any picture, you can't use picture as evidence because the photograph didn't happen until 1850, 1860s, right? They already had black slaves. They're already mixed. You can't, in other words, other than DNA, you can't prove anything. That's why DNA is so important. Now, if you're saying that black chief or whatever he is didn't have any African DNA, okay, I can accept that. Okay, I can accept that. Anything else, I can't. Okay, y'all a little late. Okay, y'all a little late. Let me put the timer up. You got 2 minutes. In fact, we're not even doing this today. Okay, we're not even doing this today. Not even doing this today. Okay. Yeah, 2 minutes. Go ahead.
What's going on? Peace and respect, BGS.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to give context to the situation since everybody's arguing about the question that I asked you.
Uh-huh.
I'm in a situation where I'm around a whole bunch of different black cultures all at once,
Okay.
and they all claim, like, let's say, for instance, the culture I originally derived from. But then the moment that there's some type of angst or something goes on, all of a sudden they're talking junk about the American black culture, and
Okay.
this is pretty much every single one of them, from Ghanaian to Nigerian to like every single one of them, Jamaican,
Okay.
all of them.
Okay.
Now, I'm in the cultures. I'm enjoying these cultures, but at the same time, there's this thing that whenever I say black, and I realize what it is because I needed something other than the whole new term Solani, but I needed something else because Negro also is a negative term in a lot of their minds as well. But
Okay.
then everybody claims. Go ahead.
It doesn't matter. Okay. There's negative terms all over the place. But the thing is, that's your original classification. Why is it negative?
It's just the way that people respond to it.
Okay.
To me, it's the word that describes something. But when I say it, for some reason, oh, we're not Negro. I'm like, oh God, like, so there's no way to be able to make these people understand.
So when you're talking to civilians, man, they don't understand. Why are you talking to civilians about this shit?
Because they're the ones right now, like hedging the situation with this whole situation with let's say Kamala, which when I know that her father's a coolie, and I'm sitting here describing what a coolie is, and the situation is, if he was black, I would claim it the same way that my grandparents are not black.
Her father's mother was black, Jamaican. Okay.
No. See, that's the thing. That's that whole Jamaican thing.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother, her father, her grandmother on the father's side is black Jamaican. Okay.
No. That's the thing. That's what I keep saying. Her father's a coolie. That's the definition of an Irish.
No,
Go ahead.
it doesn't matter, right? Okay. He describes himself from Afro white Irish descent. Okay. Her mother is black as hell. I just looked at her picture. Her mother's black as hell. I mean, her grandmother on her father's side is black as hell. Okay.
But I'm talking about culture. I'm not talking about the phenotypical situation, and that's what I'm getting at.
Okay. If you close your eyes, okay, and listen to her talk, what color would you think she was?
I would think she's black, but that's the same thing I go through when I'm talking to Nigerian women.
In other words, that's culture, right? Okay.
Yeah, but we got people grafting onto the culture, then talking bad about it at the same time.
It doesn't matter. We got niggas in the culture talking bad about the culture. What the fuck are you talking about?
But they
Am I
ain't got
wrong?
shit else. But
It doesn't matter. The thing is, it's irrelevant. One, it's irrelevant. Okay. Number
mhm.
two, okay, I read her bio, right? She went through the same shit I went through, right? She was raised in a black neighborhood and got bused to white schools. Okay, same shit I went through. Okay, she black. Her girlfriends are
and
black.
that
Hold on.
uh-huh.
Her girlfriends are black. Okay, when she went to Canada, her girlfriends were black up there. Okay. And then she went to an HBCU, okay, and then she started dating Divine Nine dudes from black sorority fraternities. All right, she black, okay. Culturally, she's black. What do you want?
All right. So then I'm gonna start accepting everybody who claim to be black as black then.
Okay,
And that's all I can do at this point.
and oh, is she a Negro? No, she's not. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I
Oh,
was getting at.
okay.
That's what I was getting at.
Okay. Say you from New York, right? Okay.
Hmm.
You from fucking New York, right?
Yep.
Say a nigga is third generation Jamaican, okay, and you in the culture, and he's shooting the dice and all the shit, all the other shit that the niggas in the corner are doing. Is he culturally black?
At that point, he's cultural New Yorker. He is a New Yorker.
He's a New Yorker, right? That's culture, okay. You're talking culture, how you were raised and what you're taught, okay.
Hmm.
Okay, and you take something like you take somebody like Barack Obama, okay, who is black, okay.
He's black.
Black. But the thing is, guess what he was raised as? He was raised as a white man.
Yes.
Okay, that's culture. Okay.
And that I understand, but like it's hard to like the culture and class is very hard to break down
Why we arguing culture in class when we talk about policy?
because they're not talking about policy. Like when I break down policy, they sidestep and skirt towards all these other areas and so on and so forth.
No. Who is backing Kamala Harris? It's not the Indians. Who's
These
backing her?
divine nines in this goddamn house.
And what color are they?
They all black.
So in other words,
And they all AKA.
And that's their sister, ain't it?
That's all that I hear.
That's all you hear. She black, okay? Point blank. Period. I don't know why this is so hard. I was looking at this podcast about mixed girls, right? Their mama's white and their father's black, and blah blah blah, right? They talk about being mixed, okay? Okay, and they raised in a white area. They weren't raised around black folks. They're raised in a predominantly white area. Their mama's white. Are they black?
Oh wait, are they black?
Hold on a second. Let me go ahead and pull it up. You know,
I know which one you're talking about. The one with the 3 light-skinned girls and they kind of look Amish looking.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they look Amish. What's saying is, are they black?
By our terms in America, yes.
Respect.
Because everybody's black.
Yes.
Hold on. Okay. Hold on, because he's the one that started all this shit. That's like I don't like this shit. Now you see why I don't like this shit going on in my chat. It's off topic, right?
That's why I gave context to it so it could be better understood.
Yeah,
like, I know exactly where you were coming from.
Yeah, but like I said, when you talk to civilians, man, you know, shit goes off the rails. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, bro. Respect. What do you want, man? Because
all right.
I don't like this. I don't like this off-topic talk anyway. But go ahead. What's up?
Yeah, man, that was a great video, man. I really like the way Donald Trump, actually handled that situation to show that he is, mentally competent and such. How also, the remedial conversation of black and this and that. I think if we distance ourselves culturally and define ourselves for ourselves, right, away from black, I think the better off we'll be, because we won't even have the space and opportunity to get off topic of what the real focus is and start going off on this and that, and then activate our Willie Lynch chips in unison.
There's a time to talk about it and there's a time not to talk about it, right? Okay. The time to talk. Well, this is a black male space, okay? There's a time to talk about it, okay? The thing is, this is not the time to talk about it, especially when it comes to a presidential election, right? Okay. Her agenda is going to be basically dictated by who? Black women. Okay, that's who put her in. That's who's fighting for. This is who agenda that she will carry. What does that mean for you? It won't be an Indian agenda. It will be a black female agenda. What does that mean for you? And
Well,
so basically, she carrying a black female agenda. That's what she's in there for. That's how people don't like her. So her being Indian has nothing to do with the hill of beans, right? Well, her father's a coolie, whatever the fuck you want to call him, right? Doesn't matter. Okay.
all right.
Look at her background. And let me show this real quick, okay? Raising multi-ethnic children, right? Okay.
Differences
That's the
in
mother.
our marriage. And you know, some emotional things and some, I don't know, having a child, of course, you probably hear it from every mother that's ever been a mother, that it changes you fundamentally. It makes you think about what's really important in
Right.
life and, you know, what the purpose of all this is and what you need to do and be as a mother to give your child.
Dad's hair. I do not know.
No, Dad's got really curly hair,
His hair is
but it's
curly, right?
thin.
Mhm.
So I think you got thinner hair.
Yeah.
Maybe if it
Now, that's her mother and that's her mother. Okay. Are they black? They identify as black. Are they black? Okay. In other words, what this has always been the question, right? It goes back to Plessy versus Ferguson. Are they black?
When we're talking about the black people, I'm gonna say, or the derivatives of black people who lived the black experience in America, under that term, the one drop rule and all that, everybody before 1960s and stuff like that, if your people was here before that time, yes, they are black.
What does black mean?
Now, when we're looking at the term of black, for instance, right, we're talking about black people, people of African descent, people who have some type of genetic lineage towards black or let's say African descent, because I keep saying black because the way that we use it in America constantly gets like just jammed around with all the other words.
So how about the singer that was gone in on because she said that she's colored from South Africa? And
Oh
people
yeah,
call her black.
because that I feel like now I'm that's where I'm constantly dealing with this conversation, and that's within the let's say the African community and stuff, right? So whenever it's a situation of building pride within the situation of those particular groups, they are quick to like graft onto their particular history. But the moment that you start talking about the African American situation, if they have something to say, they will quickly say something negative before they say the positive about our culture.
We caused this goddamn problem. They didn't. We caused it. We started this shit. They didn't start this shit. We started this shit.
And what I'm trying to do is make sure that I have a distinction, like, because I already know what I can say, but then it's constantly rebuffed with like what we're saying right now in the chat of stop dealing with the ignorance. But how do you teach people against this, like the same way that we're going against the whole like gynocracy in a way?
Stop trying to be nice with it. That's what you're trying to be nice with the shit. Stop trying to be nice with it. What do you want? Okay, you want to be distinct, or you want to be blended in with all the other global black people on the planet? Which one do you want? Can't have both.
What's happening is all our stuff in the situation of America is being depleted because we have a situation of everybody being quote unquote colored, and that situation is being grafted onto the Negro part of the let's say.
We'll start going after your intersectional feminists that actually allowed or open the door for this shit, okay? Because they allowed this shit in. There's intersectionalism, okay? They allowed this shit in. So you have to go after them. Go after the people that actually start this shit because they're the one to keep perpetuating this kind of stuff. Even on that on that floor, right? With Trump, right? What do they talk about? People of color, right?
Yeah.
Those are the women actually perpetuating this from the top. Y'all got to stop it from there. If you can't, guess what? I had no problem with it. Okay.
Because I even seen this in, like, say for instance, at one point I worked in a facility, a government facility.
Another minute. You only got one more minute. Okay.
I worked in a government facility. They said that the jobs for certain people, especially for, let's say, they said for black folk, but then they said POC after the fact, right? So when I went back into the room, I checked the roster. I wasn't even really at first. I'm like, what are they talking about? But then I checked the roster, and then I looked at it. He said it was it should be at least 20% in here or more. And then he went back and was like, oh shit, we got to hire more people. And I was like, what is he talking about? Then I went back and I looked at the roster. I counted the roster. I looked at the people and realized that over 16% were black. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. And then when I looked at everybody in the room, the Asian, Indian, and so on and so forth, that added up to the 20%. But we lost about 3 other black folk that was in the room. And he was.
You hear boomers talk about people of color?
Yeah.
No, we don't. We talk about people. We talk about black, right? You guys brought that shit in. Y'all have to correct this shit. Okay?
Oh wait, you said, do I hear? No. This was definitely a boomer who said the things that I was referring to, and he was making sure that our numbers were up so that we could make sure we could get those
the black
government.
People in. The black people in, right? He wants he wants specifically for black. He was raised that way. It's supposed to be about black people, right? The millennials and X's brought in the fucking people of color shit. Okay, y'all have to correct that shit or let it go. I don't care. I don't care which. I'm too old, man. I'm done. Okay. If you guys want people of color to be your leaders and take your jobs, go ahead and let them.
But that's what I was referring to, and this right here is a very, very close situation towards what we're referring to when it comes to the POC and the black situation.
What the thing is, you black people sitting around arguing about this shit. Why? Okay. Are you for self? Are you for your own group, or you want to spread it out or blend in? I don't care which. Okay. At this point, I don't really.
I'm proud to be a black American.
Would have a whole bunch of people that probably not spreading this people of color shit, this inclusion shit. Y'all have to correct this shit, man. Boomers too fucking old to even deal with this kind of shit. We don't even understand it. Why are you guys allowing this shit to come into your being? Why are you allowing them to actually get rid of affirmative action, not saying anything? Y'all ain't raised no fuss about affirmative action.
Oh yeah, I felt the effects of that too.
No, but y'all, this stuff had been coming for like 5 or 6 years. Y'all, nobody said shit about it. Oh, when you guys actually gonna sit down and do something about it? I said something about it 5 or 6 years ago. This was coming, right? But nobody thought it was a big deal. We don't really need affirmative action. We think we should stand on our own. Blah blah. Okay.
Oh no, they closed all the doors to a whole bunch of jobs the moment that got canceled. It happened within 2 to 3 months. So if y'all think y'all don't need it, I'm sorry. Those jobs were pretty much eliminated.
It's called motherfucking karma, man. Karma's a bitch, ain't it? Is what it is. Take care of business, or the business will take care of you. You know how that goes. Anyway,
and then that was what I was talking about with the whole situation of why don't they understand the whole situation of black jobs when this was a actual movement at one point, less than 10 to 15 years ago. So why do they get like all up in arms about the whole term?
It's because they've been educated in PWIs, in feminism, and this is the way they think. Even the teachers that teach in historically black colleges preach the same shit, and we let it go. Okay, when are we gonna stop letting it go? It might be too late already. You know, I think it's too late already. But thing is, the women on stage are representatives to power. What are you gonna do about it? That's all I'm gonna say. They're the ones driving policy, and they're the one giving the ends to actually apply this policy to us. Okay, what you gonna do about it? Because I'm getting tired. I was talking about it. Nobody's gonna do shit about it. That's why I'm getting tired. If you ain't gonna do shit, so why are we talking about it? Let's talk about what we can do, and not shit that we can't do nothing about. You can't control these goddamn bitches. Okay. And they get educated in this feminist shit, and nobody pushes back because anyway, let me get out of here, man.
Salute.
All right.